Okay. We'll stay there. It was a phenomenally terrific idea to move all of my stuff on my desk around before my next stream. It's a great idea. I should do it again. I'm gonna grab my tablet. All right. Set up my stream banners. That just did not work out. There we go, and add a photo. Where did I save that? Where did I save that? Why didn't I put it in here? That's weird. Okay. So that should be up. We should be online. Oh, and OBS is giving me issues. Because of course it is. I'll be right back. Okay. And keep an eye on this stream, because, again, great idea to change all of your hardware right before a big stream and not test it. I do smart things, like break my entire system before doing a stream. Hopefully this works this time. I honestly have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. Hopefully it doesn't do it again. Let's see. So tonight, I do want to draw. Helps if I plug in my tablet again. I moved my computer around and I plugged everything into new USB ports, which of course means that nothing is where Windows expects it to be. It does at least appear to be working. Alrighty. It is so nice to draw on a giant screen. I did a little sketching on my Surface at lunch today, and I mean, it's not bad, but you know, sketching on a 10-inch screen versus sketching on a 27-inch screen, you know, all things being equal, the larger screen is nicer for having more space. For sure. So, what to sketch today? Hypnosis is a hell of a drug, isn't it? I don't know what I'll sketch today. I've had my persona on my mind lately, trying to kind of reconcile years, nearly decades of not engaging with the furry community and just kind of not having a persona. Doesn't it? Oh, that's right. No, this only cuts. That's right. I'm still not entirely sure I'll draw my persona on stream, but that's definitely what's on my mind these days. I had kind of a rough weekend. Nothing specific. I did end up canceling my electrolysis appointment because I did not have the spoons. Mostly it was just my body was not happy pretty much the entire weekend. I was either exhausted, like physically exhausted, or I had an enormous headache, which was most of Sunday and Monday was a headache day, and then Friday and Saturday were exhausted days. Sunday was a little of both. Um, yeah, so it was kind of nice. By the end of Monday night, I was finally starting to feel recovered. And this is the story of my life. I have perfectly fine weeks, and then my weekends I just crash. And that's been my life, like my whole life. So when people are always like, oh, are you doing something fun on the weekend? And like, no, because I'm going to be sick or in pain or exhausted or something. I just know it because this is my body. I was sketching on my surface at lunch. I was sketching a spaceship, actually, for my persona. Because I kind of want... Because that's the fun part about a persona, right? Like, the persona is you, but it's also an idealized you. Like, it's you in whatever universe you want to create for yourself and your persona. And in my universe, she's... I am a space smuggler, and I've got a little ship that I smuggle cargo with. And, not anywhere near as interesting as, like, Firefly or Serenity, but, fairly... The image that came to my mind was fairly reminiscent of the tiny little starship that I have in, little tiny fighter that I have in, Star Citizen, which... That's the reason I never bought any other ships in that game. One, I didn't think it was going to come out, which it looks like it's probably not, like, ever. But also because, like, that's all I want to do is, like, fly around and smuggle stuff. Like, sleep in my starship, in my little fighter. Like, that's all I really want to do. That's where I want to be. I don't want to, like, pilot a 20-person crewed monstrosity that, can smuggle elephants off of a planet. I don't care about that. I want to get, like, a couple of crates of estradiol to some trans person way out on the fringe colonies or something like that. Little things that are very important. Not large things that might be very important as well. But, we're 12 minutes into the stream, and at least the stream is still alive. It's not chunking, so that's a plus. But nobody's here yet, so I guess I can just do whatever the hell I want. So I think it might be a persona scene, I think. That is not my pen tool. I'm a dork. Let's pull up the... Please tell me those are still bound. Yes. So yeah, I just drew drew a bunch of stuff on screen and you couldn't see it because I forgot to set the camera. I'm good. So let's do that. Actually, let's do a midline instead of a low horizon. Can I apparently I can't draw a straight line tonight. There we go. So this'll be... Do I even want a midline at the moment? I don't think so. The vision I have in my head might not line up with a midline. So we have hand, grasping helmet, so thumb would be out on that side. Do actual sketching tonight. This will be actually kind of a relief because I haven't actually sketched for forever. I keep trying to do like line work with my sketches. Not a great idea. Sketch. That's what sketching is for. So, helmet in hand. That wrist is totally wrong. That palm is totally wrong, but let's see if we can fix that. 'Cause that's going to be knuckles, 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 palm. Yeah, ish. It's not great. That's not at all right. None of that is right. That's a little better. So yeah, my persona obviously is me, right? Well, that means she's trans, just like me. So like, so many years I've drawn like out ridiculous, out of proportion, like feminine bodies, and it's like, no, I guess I gotta dial that in a little and like realize that my body's not like that. I mean, it's not like I don't know, like I do. I don't want to know. I don't want to believe. I roll to disbelieve. But yeah, so it's been interesting the work I've been doing with myself personally. Oh, that's not enough heads, is it? Is it enough heads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. I guess that's enough heads. Yeah, I guess that works. Alright. Tail. Tails in space, 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 space. How the hell would you manage that on a spacesuit? Maybe we'd have like an extra zipper? That wouldn't make any sense. So, head size is right. But the head shape isn't. Plus, she's looking this way. So, neck is going to be twisted a little. Seriously, this is what I wished I had when I was a kid. To be able to just like go over an area and erase it as many times as I want and not like run my eraser through my paper or something. Seriously, best thing. Best thing. So add some depth to the helmet. It'll be like that-ish. And she's looking over here. So I'd have to figure out a way to do that in a spacesuit. I'm gonna figure that out in a minute. Fun thing though is that she's got a cobra hood, so if I put the cobra hood on, you wouldn't actually be able to see her face at all whatsoever because it's super wide. It goes past her shoulders. So yeah, you'd never be able to see anything. It's like easily that wide. So if she's turned about like that, the hood would come out to like just about there. Ish. Maybe I'll put it in. Maybe she doesn't have it up. All right. So she's looking at, I'm looking at my ship. I had a reference. Still nobody on the stream. 25 minutes in, no one's on the stream. Let's see. I had a reference. I'll pull it up on here. Desktop art, new. No, not the old art. No one wants to see that. Maybe someone does want to see that. Right, so it's going to be... So the exhaust nozzle would be around here-ish. And again, this ship is pointing roughly that away. So the nozzle bell would be about here. Would be the bell end, at least. And it's going to be... I mean, it would, honestly, in real life, these don't exist, but it would be a variable nozzle that could move between being atmosphere optimized and vacuum optimized. But we'll just draw it as if it were, let's make it pressure optimized. It's not at its widest or its most extended. Oh, concentric circles, my least favorite thing to draw. Consummate V's, consummate. Right. So, the engine bell is actually attached to the rear of the fuselage, which is not a square. It is a hexagon. Because there is still radar in space. As useless as it is, there is still radar in space. I'm writing a sci-fi book that, deals a little bit with some space combat, and it's, to do it realistically, it's really underwhelming to do space combat realistically. So that's where the other one would be, and that one would be there, and then this one would be about there. It's super underwhelming. Oh, it's not in the center line. What am I even doing? How is this? Because that doesn't go there. It goes there. Geometric things, also super duper fun to draw. So yeah, so space combat would be really, in real life, space combat would be super, super uneventful, very anticlimactic. Because you don't really have sensors in any real capacity that can give you some sort of a tactical advantage. you're limited to, what you can see through light speed, which means at the distances you're dealing with in spaceflight, and doing like even just intrastellar combat. We'll just leave interstellar combat out of the picture for the moment. Intrastellar combat, like if someone shot at you from Jupiter, one, they have a really good targeting computer, and two, it would take hundreds of years for their shot to get to you. If it were a kinetic shot, and they'd have to, it would have to obey gravity. Or if it didn't have to obey gravity, it was a kinetic vehicle, it would have to be launched with such incredibly high amounts of energy that it's just not going to get to you for a while. Because you're talking about something that has to go at its fastest at maybe half light speed. Right? So like what, light speed from the sun to sun to the earth is what, 8 minutes? That's kind of drag. And you're not going to detect that whatever, that particle or that bullet or that missile or that photon torpedo or whatever it is, until basically until it's on top of you, because you're limited to vision through light speed. If you have, radar, well, guess what? Radar works on the electromagnetic spectrum. You're limited to light speed again. So, without some kind of like sci-fi-ish ranging system, you have no idea that anything is even coming for you, let alone what to do to evade it. It's the very start of the winglets will be here. I know spaceships shouldn't have wings, but this is anticipated to fly inside an atmosphere occasionally. It's one of those, unicorns, single stage to orbit. They're not real. They're not real. Maybe one day they'll be real, but they're not currently real. Right, so we've got that. So this wing is going to go the other direction. And it's a reversed, well, it's a diamond-shaped wing, so you may not even see a lot of it at this angle. Let's say you do. Let's see it kind of edge on. One of the gun pods. Because, yeah, why not put your guns on the edge of the wing? I know it doesn't make any sense to do that, but whatever. Is there anything else you could see from back there? I mean, you're going to see the flaps and elevons, because this is a canard wing design, so the rears are going to be elevons, the rear control surfaces. And the landing gear will be visible, not visible? I don't know. I don't know if it'll actually be visible. This rear bottom hull line, the ventral hull line needs to go down a little further. It is not bigger on the inside than the outside. It does obey the laws of physics. unfortunately. So that's not awful. Let me get rid of my cheater lines here. Not really anything special. And I mean, really, this is... This should be closer. Which means we get to see more ship. Is it closer? It's not closer. It's a little bit closer. But it does mean we get to see more ship. Draw the amount of tail fin you think you need on your ship, especially if it's going in an atmosphere. I mean, the only reason you want a tail on it is if it's going in an atmosphere. Yeah, that's not... Whoa. That is not what I want at all. B, not V. Where was I? Yeah, so if you're building a ship that's intended to steer in an atmosphere, like it's intending to deflect atmosphere to steer itself, draw the amount of tail that you think you need for the ship, and then multiply it by like 150%. Yeah, that's going to be... This is going to be actually fairly large. Primary control surface. That continues that way. There's much more. Gotta have plenty of rudder. Gotta. You can do a bank and yank, but it ain't pretty. Alright, so that lower ventral line is gonna go... It's gonna swing down with the bottom. The stern of the ship. No, the... What the heck is that? The keel of the ship. The keel. That's it, the keel. It's going to swing down with the keel. This needs a center line. And these control surfaces start pretty much right at the butt of the wing. So now I think we are... Yeah, we're far enough forward that we're going to see a landing gear, which is fine. Probably just sticking out of the edge here. Oh, that's VTOL landing gear. This thing is not a VTOL. Note to self, this is not a VTOL. Which means you're probably not going to be able to see the landing gear, because they're going to be much further up. Closer to the center of gravity. And much closer to the fuselage. Alright, so this kind of suggests a horizon line around here. Makes sense, it's right about her butt. I Cannot draw a straight line to save my ass. Get rid of that mess in there. Alright, so that's a great idea. So I can show what the outline of the ship is by making a shadow. Sort of. I mean, it's smushed on the ground, so there isn't really that much shadow I can do. That kind of works. Yeah, she needs to be up higher. I'll have to set that later. Yeah, right about there. Toss my silly horizon line because I screwed up where it's supposed to be. Because I'm special. Sweet. Alright. See if anybody's on the stream now. Hey! We got somebody on the stream. Hello! I am drawing a snack. And she flies a starfighter. And, yeah. That's about it. It's about as far as I've gone with the thought process. That is supposed to be a helmet. That is a very, very crude sketch of a helmet. It's very, very poor, I'm sorry. It definitely needs some perspective work. It's supposed to be her flight helmet. So what do you mean by is me? You a snack? Oh, hey, yeah, you have a completely different name on here, so yeah, I did not recognize you. You never know with streaming on YouTube. Who's gonna hop in on the stream? Oh, you're such a sweet summer child. The internet literally didn't exist when I was in middle school. The whole of the internet did not exist when I was in middle school. I think I think Usenet and Gopher were online, and of course you could dial in to a BBS somewhere, but that was about it in middle school. Uh, it's incredible to me. It's cool. It's cool that you get to grow up with like the internet in ubiquity, which is awesome because the internet's fantastic. I remember when I first dialed onto it with my 486. Internet Explorer was not happy with me at that time. She's supposed to, yes. I do have to draw or sketch a flight suit. I'm not sure if she has just gotten out of her starfighter or if she's about to get back in her starfighter. But yeah, this is my Sona. Um, at least this is one of the first updates I've done of my Sona in almost 20 years. She's gonna do something useful with this arm. Maybe just put her hand on her hip. That might be all the more useful she is with it. Proportions are not right. Well, that is not the E. I mean, right, a Sona is you, right? Like your Sona is supposed to be yourself. Like if she's me, she needs to have a sandwich cuz that's like my sustenance. Like I mean, I just ate some Subway. Like this is me. I eat sandwiches. That'd be pretty great. I'd have to flip the position of the helmet though, cause I'd want her to like have the helmet in her offhand and like be eating the yeah the sandwich. Not so that she's not like across her body like that. That would be weird. I'm not left-handed, but that's as far as like laying out the composition of the drawing. I don't want her to cross her body to do a thing because then you don't know what she's doing. Like her arm just like disappears behind her and you don't know where it's gone. It shows up on the other side of her body with a sandwich. Like it would look weird. It would just look weird. So even though I'm not left-handed, I think And I mean, honestly, if I am eating a sandwich, I'm eating it with both freaking hands. Because it's a sandwich. That is still not perspective correct, but that's better. Basing this off of my old motorcycle helmet. And what was inside and the padding and stuff. Because, you know, spacesuit helmets look like motorcycle helmets, right? They're totally the same thing. Well, technically, right? So technically, if I wanted her to be, you know, a full snake, she'd have to be like a naga, you know, snake lower half, all tail, which is fine. And canonically, in my universe, she is a shapeshifter, and she does sometimes just wear her tail instead of having, you know, two legs. She also has a centaur morph, but that's not something we talk about in polite company. Um, but yeah, like a lizard morph. It honestly, with the lizard morph, it'd be more the head. Like that would be what differentiates a lizard morph and a snake morph. Um, and generally, a lizard morph would have, you know, rougher scales, stuff like alligator scales that are, you know, almost bony. That they're really heavily armored, versus snake scales that are kind of light and delicate. Yes, yes, my fursona has a centaur morph, because sometimes two legs are not enough. So yeah, a snake tar. I'm getting further and further away from the concept of a snake. No legs, two legs, four legs. What? uh, so yeah, this is not bad. I could finish this off offline, and because it's already been almost an hour on this stream. I usually only run my streams about an hour, but it's getting there. There's a definite thing going on with this picture, which is cool because I wasn't sure there'd be a thing tonight. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was gonna draw tonight. It still doesn't look right, but I'll find a reference picture and sketch a little more convincingly a helmet. Yes, yes. Ray the Doe is trans. And Ray the Doe is trans because she's she, but she has antlers. Actually, it's kind of it's a very much in progress, work in progress thing, but I'm planning on making a game because I have a story I want to tell interactively, and one of the main characters is going to be trans, and that's one of the ways you can show that is, you know, if you have um, typical characteristics of a sexed species, you can intermix them when a person is trans and transitioning, since they will display characteristics of both sexes for at least some amount of time. But yes. that, yes, Ray the Doe is trans. Which I think is awesome, because also Ray the Doe is adorable. Completely freaking adorable. But, yeah, so I think this is where I'm going to stop, about an hour of sketching. But, that's not bad. Now that I have Fire Alpaca on my Surface 2, my Surface Pro 2, it's alright, no worries. It's okay. But now that I have a drawing program on my Surface Pro 2 that doesn't completely suck, Mischief, yeah, well, my old program was just garbage. I could finish this off, like, on my lunch breaks and stuff. It'd be nice. So, yes, anyway, that's going to be the stream for tonight. It's a little bit shorter than normal. I think I'm actually under an hour, just. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Thanks to Leo for joining me. The one person who joined me tonight. Be good to each other. I will catch you in the next one. And now I have to find my stop button. There it is. Good night.